It's so easy for my sexuality, as it's so easy for all manner of things, to kind of get in the way and distract from the most important thing. And I've just learned that actually keeping Jesus at the center, remember that ultimately it's about loving and following him, kind of helps everything else fall into place. My name's Andrew. I live on the southeast coast where I serve as an assistant pastor at a local church. I love music, theatre and walking. I first became aware of being same-sex attracted to guys rather than girls in my early teen years, pretty much as soon as puberty hit. All my romantic sexual attractions and desires were for guys. And I think when that happened, I didn't really understand what was going on. But I kind of felt quite uncomfortable with it enough that I didn't tell anyone. And so for many years, it was just this kind of secret, hidden away. I didn't quite understand what was going on, and I just decided to keep it to myself. There were also feelings of worry. Some worry about what would happen if people found out. What would people say to me? What would people think about me? But also worries as someone who'd already chosen and wanted to follow Jesus, worries about, well, what does that look like? I want to follow Jesus, I'm attracted to guys. How do even these two things go together? What's my life going to look like? How am I going to live that out? I first shared with someone about that experience of same-sex attraction in my mid-teen years, probably age 14 or 15. There was a friend of mine, a few years older, who was just helping me to grow as a follower of Jesus. And one day he just said to me, well, is there anything else you want to talk about? Anything else you want to tell me? And to his surprise, and to my surprise, I suddenly came out with, well, actually, I'm same-sex attracted. It's part of my experience. That was the first time ever it had kind of gone out of my head, out of my experience, to actually telling someone. Sometimes the problem I faced when I first came out to people about my sexuality was they just didn't know what to do with me. They didn't understand it, and that often meant people would have an initial conversation but not do much then to help me and support me. I guess part of that was just people didn't really talk about sexuality. The assumption was everyone is opposite sex attracted. It seemed like no one else was having this experience. No one talked about it, and so that didn't make me feel safe to talk about it. It seemed like this weird thing I needed to hide away and keep secret. And then I think when people did talk about sex and relationships, it never seemed directly relevant to me, because it was all about actually opposite sex relationships, how dating would work, how you faithfully follow Jesus as a teenager who might be in a dating relationship. And just no one ever seemed to talk about my experience. But one friendship particularly that was most supportive, most helpful, was a friend who was very honest about the fact he didn't really know what to say or do, but he continued to walk alongside me. I remember him reading stuff and listening to stuff and just trying to understand my life a bit more, trying to think through what it means for me to follow Jesus in my experience. And I knew that even if he didn't know all the answers, he was going to be there for me, helping me to journey. And that was so important and such a blessing. Lots of people really worry for me when they hear my story. They assume that my story, my situation is going to mean I'm on my own, I'm lonely, I'm going to have a kind of sad existence. And that's been a question I've had to ask and kind of wrestle with as well. But actually my experience and the teaching of the Bible has shown me I can experience love, I can experience family, even without having a boyfriend or a husband and a family of my own. Actually, I get to experience genuine love, to feel love and to express love and to experience and receive love in intimate friendships, which the Bible says should be a normal part of Christian life. And in many ways, I get to experience more of family life or have a broader experience of family than many of my married friends are. The key issue is about love, not about sex. Actually, I, like all of us, have a legitimate need to love and to be loved, and God knows that, and God provides the context for that. But that doesn't mean I need to have sex. Doesn't mean I need to be in a romantic relationship or get married. And actually, all the while I thought it was all about those things, it was like a dead end I could never get through. Realizing, no, it's about love, not about sex, suddenly opened up the way. This is doable. This can be a good way of living life because God gives me the friendships and the church family to experience love. And Jesus gives me a solid, stable identity. And I know that no matter what happens, he always loves me. I've been adopted as a son of God. I'm loved, I'm delighted over. God even sings songs over me. And that gives me such security from which to seek to love him and to follow him.